Rootstones and Bones folks. This is Hilary and I am live. I've had a few girlfriends ask me recently about how difficult it is to make one of these hand-sewn face masks. So I want to go live while I'm finishing up a batch of them and just briefly go over what I'm doing. I'm following the Deaconess pattern, which they are stating is CDC compliant, but generally it's 2-ply. I'm doing 9 by 6. You simply put them together face to face, and you're going to use 2 pieces for over the ear, 7-inch on each side. Now this is for an adult size face mask. Hi Brookie. And I know that there are sizes for children. I'm choosing not to make that right now. So I do want to talk a little bit about these. Like, I know everybody's like, does this really work? Does this really prevent? What I have read, and I've read some studies, they are nowhere near where they should be as far as the real filtration, like the N95s with the, the filter in it to really protect yourself. But what my nurse friends and other friends of mine are using these for in the medical field is to cover those masks and prolong the life of them. So if they feel like this has gotten dirty, they can remove it and still have their heavier protection on it. Personally, I like ties. I work for at home. I'm a private CNA. I like the ties. Personally, these can be really taxing on the ears after a while, and I don't find as good a fit with these. I don't think that they would go person to person, fitting perfectly well, but with ties are wonderful. So I think these can be amended really easy with ties. If you are someone like me who happens to have a lot of bias tape lying around, now's the time to use that and use it up. And there are a lot of patterns going around right now. So if you're using them for personal use, I think that's perfect. These are perfect for personal use if you are immune compromised person and you're going to the grocery store and you want a little extra protection. But these, you want to make sure if they do get moist that you take them off and replace them right away. And that's just my little tidbit, because you don't want a breeding ground for more bacteria and the virus we're all trying to protect. Anyway, so I've got a few laid out in different stages, so I'll just go through this like I kind of usually do. If you like me, give me a hey, share me out. This is just a totally random thing I'm doing right now, because I've had some girlfriends ask me how easy they are. They're very super easy, beginner level if you ask me. As long as you can step on the pedal and go, there's a very good chance you can get one of these done within a half hour, like as a beginner. Cutting them out obviously takes the most time, so I have some prepped here. So again, this is 9 by 6. I have 2 pieces of elastic 7 inches. This is for an adult size mask. I am going to start in the middle of my mask with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to go around. As I go around, I'm going to stop on my machine and I'm going to place in the elastic. You can see that I haven't pinned it in here. So I'm going to place it in while I'm sewing. You're going to go all the way around, placing your elastic, and then we'll turn it and do some pleats and top stitch. It's really that easy. So I want to encourage those of you who have been sending me messages and saying, hey, I don't know where to start. I have a machine. Like, how do I do this? Pick it up, and this is a great first project for you. Or cloth wipes, and I know those are really important to a lot right now, and I also have a tutorial for those. So I'm just going to start. Back stitch, and again, I'm getting close to this first edge. I don't know if you guys can really see my hands, but I'm going to talk you through it. So I'm going to leave my needle down. I'm going to lift up my presser foot, and I'm going to open this a bit. It's hard to see. Maybe if I that down a little, okay? So I have this open. I'm going to take my elastic and I'm going to push it right into the corner, and then I'm going to sandwich it right in the middle, okay? And I'm continuing around. And here I go around this next corner and over the first little piece of elastic. Now my elastic is in the middle, in between. So when I get to this end, I come along to this end. I'm gonna leave the needle in, lift my presser foot. When I open, oh, I wish I didn't have this light here. When I open it, you can see here's my elastic right here. Okay, and I'm gonna take that and pull it to the corner. And I'm just holding this with my fingers. I'm not doing a ton of pinning, other than the small prep I did first. Okay, so there you have it. One side with the elastic is already finished. Okay, and I've been chatting with you guys for just a couple minutes, so I'm telling you, beginner sewers, this is something you can do. You can protect your family, make some for neighbors, some nurse friends you know would really appreciate these masks right now. So I can really step on the gas now, going down this other side. Okay, again, I'm going to get to the corner. I'm going to take my elastic and put this in. How's everybody holding up? Being stuck at home. I have cabin fever, thus trying to come hang out with you guys a little bit. Well, here we go. Once again, I'm sandwiching this elastic in, and this is 1/4 inch elastic. I know people are using, they're going and getting the headbands, the big headbands from the dollar store. I know you can make headbands, masks with that by cutting them down. Okay, so here I am going around my 3rd corner, and you can see this is very simple. Okay, this is my last corner, making sure my elastic is flat in here, and I'm still, again, coming over, lifting my presser foot, and sandwiching this little piece of elastic. It's hard to see with the light there. You can see my elastic, and I'm just putting it right to the corner. Okay, here we go. Now you are coming around to where you started. You want to leave yourself about an inch, inch and a half, you know, probably 2 inches if you're you want to be safe to turn this mask outright. Okay, did I go over a pin here? I don't know. Every once in a while. Okay, so I'm going to back stitch. Okay, and this is what you're going to see. So I've gone all the way around. My elastic pieces are inside for the ears on one side, on the other side, and then there is my turning hole. And you can simply reach in and grab one of these elastic pieces, if I can find it, my goodness, and pull it out right. Okay. You're going to turn it out right, and I press everything. I like my iron. But I know folks who are maybe doing this in an assembly line might have some helpers, but hopefully you're all practicing being very far apart. Anyway, so you're going to come out, once you turn it, you have this basic structure, okay? See, here are my elastics to go over the ears. This is the basic structure, okay? There you have it. That was super simple, right? Now you're going to do pleats. I know pleats are like, whoa, a little overwhelming if you're new, but this is really, really very simple. I am choosing to, on the tutorials I watched, they did not include the marks for that, but I find that like a 1/2 inch tuck really does really well. So here, if I were to lay it down on my mat, I lay it on my mat when I'm pinning, I go to the 1/2 inch line and I make a 1/2 inch tuck, see? And then you're going to make 3 of these, and you're going to fold them and make sure on both sides they're the same way. And you can see that you can line them up so they're touching, so it'll be very simple to sew right over, okay? Now I have a few here that I've already pinned so I can show you what I mean. I started, you can see that that's 1 inch there. I pinned a 1/2 inch back, and then I continued twice more, okay? So you can see how those fit really nice and snugly into each other when I pinned them. Okay, so you do that on both sides, and at this point you're welcome to press. You don't really need to, you can press afterwards. And you simply go around. On my finished one here, they recommend going around twice to make sure that your pleats are not going to come apart at the seam, or you know, you want it to be sturdy. So I did it twice. I went around twice here. I don't know if you can see. It kind of looks like a cover stitch, which is kind of nice. Okay, so let's go around this one. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, Angela. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? Been forever. Oh, this will be good. I've got white thread on a black background, so this might be better for you guys to see. I'm going to start on the bottom of this one, okay? And for this, you're just top stitching. You're going right around, so it's really fun, and this is when it can get nice and quick for you, okay? So I'm going to back stitch. What's going on here? And go forward. So you really can push a lot of these out. My camera shakes as I sew. Sorry, everybody. I'll go a little slower. You can really crank some of these out. As with anything, any sewing, always the preparation is the most work, and then you're sewing for like 5 minutes and you're like, oh, that was it. Okay, so I'm coming around to the side. There we go, if I cover my hand. Coming around to the side with the tucks. Now I have 3 pins over here. Don't sew over your pins, okay? You can just gently pull. You're going to use your presser foot to hold that pin tuck tightly down, and just use your finger next to it to hold it in place. And if you were accurate enough with your pinning, it should stay snugly in the other folds, okay? So I'm just going to go slowly over this, and as I come to my next pins, I'm going to just take them out nicely and easily. Okay, here I'm coming to my 3rd pin, and yeah, you really don't want to hit a pin. You break a needle, you can really mess up the mechanics on your machine, and if you do have any embroidery stitching, things like that can be really, really thrown off. You're doing good. Hope I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm suffering from cabin fever. I already am a stay-at-home mom for the most part. I do private home care. I'm lucky right now that I am only with 1 client currently. I would love to work more, but it doesn't work with our schedule here. But I love doing home care. I love my clients that I have, and it's just very sad to hear that this coronavirus is really ravaging nursing homes and elderly. And we can do our part as young, healthy people to protect them by protecting us and staying away. There we go, we're shaking again. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm coming around to the other side. Just gonna go slow again so I make sure my seam allowance is nice. For some reason, I have my pins facing the other way on this one. You know you're a tired mom one. Okay, so we're almost on this one, and then I'll model it for you guys. Ooh. Okay. Going nice and slow, holding my pin tucks with my fingers. And if if you feel like, oh, it slipped a little, you know, lift up your presser foot, make an adjustment. These are very forgiving. And hospitals are calling for them right now. I was talking a little bit about it before, but I don't think anybody was here chatting with me. These are obviously much less preventive as far as any type of permeable substance goes. With masks, you really do, if you are working with a patient that does have this virus, you really want all the protective gear. And even when I am doing my home care now, I'm wearing my mask and I'm wearing goggles when I'm hands-on with a client, just in case I were to cough or she were to cough. We really don't want to exchange any of that stuff. And the doctors, I know, are really running low on supplies, so this is something that we can do. So if you're thinking about starting up sewing, do it now. This is a great first project. Okay, here we go, home free. So I'm only going to show you guys the one stitch around. I'm not going to do another stitch. But here is your finished product, okay? You had a 9x6 piece, 2 pieces of fabric, face to face. And you had the 2 pieces of your elastic 7 inches for over the ears. And you went around and sewed them in, flipped it out, top stitch with some very simple pleats, and here you have it. A very nice mask. I'm trying to put it with the... That will be extremely helpful at times like these, okay? So I've seen a lot of other... Oh, I gotta get that off there. I've seen a lot of different masks made. This one particularly with this is a little bit loose for me. I know that it will fit others better, but I prefer the ties. So when I do another live with you guys, I'm going to show how to do the ties. Boy, is it hot in there. And you can also see that, you know, there is a gap at the nose, but it is not approved right now to be adding in any kind of metal. If you're doing this for your personal self or for family, by all means experiment to get the best fit for you or whatever loved one you're making it for. And there are some really great patterns out there. I really want to try some that are more contoured, and there are some specifically for going over these respirators to prolong the usage of them. So there you have it. Simple mask. This one's got really cool firefighter stuff. I thought, you know, maybe firefighter will be wearing one. I don't know. So I've got a stack here. I'm going to be working on just little fun humors, skeletons. Yeah, so if you are thinking about starting to sew, great resources out there for these masks right now, and for patterns, I'm happy to be a resource for you. There is plenty of groups right now. Oh my goodness, this is insane. All right. I've got to sign out and go find a candle, apparently. So, isn't this exciting? You guys have a great night, and I'm going to be stumbling through the dark. Hope you guys are well. Bye-bye.